The night was heavy with rain, tapping against the glass windows of a small, dimly lit laboratory. Inside, Leo, a young scientist, worked alone. His hair was damp from the humidity, and his glasses fogged slightly as he bent over a strange metallic object. It was unlike anything he had ever seen. A device recovered from the wreckage of a spacecraft that had fallen in a remote desert. The object pulsed faintly with a soft blue glow, like it had a heartbeat of its own. Leo had always been fascinated by the unknown. Ever since he was a child, he had stared at the stars, wondering what secrets the universe held. Stories of alien life, of strange phenomena, had drawn him to science, and now he finally had proof, something tangible, something real, lying on his laboratory table. Yet as he examined the device, he felt a sense of unease creeping into his mind. The glow seemed almost alive, and sometimes he thought he heard soft whispers coming from it. He shook his head, trying to dismiss the thoughts. "I'm just tired," he muttered to himself. "It's probably just the wind outside." He reached for a small magnifying lens and focused on the device's surface. Strange symbols, almost like a language, were etched into the metal. They shimmered faintly as he traced them with his finger. A sudden flicker of light made him jump. The room seemed to grow colder, and the hum of the machines became louder, almost as if the walls themselves were vibrating. Then, in a voice that seemed to echo both in his ears and inside his mind, he heard it. "Are you alone, human?" Leo froze. His breath caught in his throat. The words were soft, almost musical, but there was a sharp edge to them that made his skin crawl. He looked around the room. It was empty. The only sound was the rain and the humming of the devices. His heart beat faster. I am alone," he stammered, though his voice sounded smaller than he expected. The room went silent, the kind of silence that made his ears ring, the kind that pressed against your chest and made you feel the weight of the moment. The glow from the device intensified, pulsing in a steady rhythm, and the shadows on the walls began to shift. Leo felt as if the very air around him had grown heavier, denser, filled with something he could not see. And then, slowly, a shape began to form. At first it was only a shimmer, like heat waves rising from asphalt. Then the figure solidified into something tall and majestic. Its skin reflected the faint blue light of the device, shimmering as if it were made of liquid starlight. Its eyes glowed with an intensity that made Leo instinctively step back, though he could not look away. The alien queen stood before him. Her presence filled the room, not just physically, but in a way that touched his mind. She was both beautiful and terrifying, elegant yet powerful. Leo could feel her observing him, and it was as if she could see every thought he had ever had. "Do you understand what you hold, human?" she asked, her voice calm but full of authority. Leo shook his head, still too stunned to speak. I found it in the wreckage," he said finally. "I thought it was a tool, something left behind by whoever was inside the ship." The queen's eyes glimmered with what Leo thought might be amusement. Brave or foolish? The line between the two is very thin. Curiosity can be dangerous, yet it is also the key to understanding. Leo's curiosity outweighed his fear. He took a cautious step closer. I want to understand. I don't mean any harm." The queen's presence seemed to grow. The shadows around the room twisted, as if dancing to a rhythm only she could hear. The device pulsed faster, sending warmth through Leo's hands and tingling through his arms. "You have chosen," the queen said softly. "The universe does not forgive ignorance, human. Once you know, you cannot unlearn." Leo's heart pounded. He nodded slowly, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. "I want to know," he said, his voice stronger now. The queen's lips curved into a faint, mysterious smile. She raised a hand, delicate but commanding, and the device floated gently from Leo's hands. A soft light spread from it, filling the room. Leo's vision blurred as he felt a pull, like gravity had shifted and twisted around him. The walls of the laboratory dissolved into streams of light. The rain, the machines, the table, all of it vanished. When Leo opened his eyes, he was no longer in the laboratory. He stood on a platform suspended in darkness, surrounded by stars so bright and close they seemed almost within reach. The sky stretched infinitely in every direction, filled with swirling colors and lights he could not name. The queen stood before him, her figure immense against the backdrop of the cosmos. She extended her hand, glowing faintly with energy. "Welcome, human. You are no longer bound by your world. You have crossed into the space where knowledge flows freely, but danger exists at every turn. Leo took a deep breath. The sheer beauty and vastness of the place made him dizzy, yet he felt a strange sense of purpose. I am ready, he said, stepping forward. As he touched the Queen's hand, he felt a rush of energy flowing into him, like lightning mixed with warmth. Images and knowledge filled his mind. Distant planets, alien civilizations, strange technologies, and battles that spanned galaxies. He stumbled but held on, letting the Queen guide him. "Do not fear, human," she said. "You will learn to see, to understand. But remember, every choice has consequences. The universe is not kind to the careless or the weak-minded." Leo nodded, his mind racing with visions and questions. "I understand," he said, though he realized that he understood nothing yet. The Queen lowered her hand and the platform began to move, gliding through the vast darkness of space. Around them, stars stretched into long streaks of light as if the universe itself were moving with them. Leo could feel the pulse of energy all around, connected to everything he had ever known and everything he had yet to see. "Tell me," the Queen said, her eyes fixed on him. "What do you seek, human? Knowledge, power, understanding?" Leo thought for a moment. I want to know the truth. About the universe, about life beyond my world, about what lies out there." The Queen nodded slowly. "Then you will see. But beware, human. Truth can be beautiful, but it can also be cruel. You may not return the same as you are now, and yet you cannot turn back once you step further." The platform descended toward a swirling vortex of light, and Leo felt both fear and exhilaration. He was stepping into the unknown, but for the first time he did not feel alone. The presence of the Queen was overwhelming, yet it also gave him confidence, as if she had chosen him for a reason. As they approached the light, the Queen spoke once more. "Prepare yourself, human. Your journey has only begun. There are worlds to explore, mysteries to unravel, and challenges that will test everything you know. But I will guide you, if you prove yourself worthy." Leo's heart raced. He had always dreamed of discovering the unknown, but now he was living it. He looked at the glowing eyes of the alien Queen, feeling both awe and determination. "I am ready," he said again, more firmly this time. The light enveloped them, and Leo felt his body lifting, merging with the energy around him. The stars seemed to whisper secrets, and the universe itself felt alive. He realized that the world he had known, the laboratory, the rain, the earth, was far behind him. What lay ahead was vast, mysterious, and completely unknown. And as the platform moved through the swirling cosmos, the alien Queen's whisper lingered in his mind, soft but unforgettable. "Are you alone, human?" Leo understood then that he was no longer alone. Not truly. The universe had welcomed him, and with the Queen as his guide, he would step into the extraordinary. His life as he knew it was over. A new journey had begun, one that would test his courage, his mind, and his very soul. The stars stretched endlessly, and Leo felt both small and infinite at the same time. He realized that curiosity had brought him here, and only curiosity and courage would carry him further. And so, with a mixture of fear, excitement, and wonder, Leo followed the alien Queen deeper into the heart of the unknown, unaware of the adventures, challenges, and revelations that awaited him beyond the limits of his imagination. Leo blinked against the brightness of the swirling cosmos. The light was soft yet intense, painting everything around him in colors he had never seen before. He could feel the hum of energy beneath his feet, as if the platform he stood on floated on waves of pure power. His mind raced, trying to make sense of what had happened, but no words seemed adequate. The alien Queen stood beside him, her presence calm and commanding. Her eyes, deep and luminous, scanned him as if she were reading every hidden thought. She spoke softly, her voice carrying across the vast emptiness like a melody. "You have crossed the threshold, human. Few are ever given this chance. Few are ready to see what lies beyond their world." Leo swallowed hard. I don't even know where to start. Everything is so overwhelming." The Queen tilted her head slightly as if studying him for a long time. "Then we start with understanding. Observation is the first lesson. See carefully, think deeply, and question always. The universe is not simple, but it is full of knowledge for those who seek it." Leo nodded, trying to steady his racing heart. The stars around them seemed to pulse in rhythm with the device he had found. He realized that this energy was connected to him somehow, as if the universe itself had acknowledged his presence. The platform began to move again, gliding silently through the endless darkness. Slowly, shapes emerged from the distance, floating cities, enormous planets with rings that glowed like molten gold, and creatures that drifted gracefully through space, their forms shimmering with iridescent light. Leo's eyes widened with awe. "Are these real?" he asked, barely able to believe what he saw. The Queen nodded. "Everything you see is real. But perception alone is not enough. You must understand purpose. Every being, every object, every energy has a reason for existing. Learn to see not just with your eyes, but with your mind." Leo looked closer at one of the floating cities. It was massive, built on platforms of metal and crystal that seemed to float effortlessly. Strange beings moved along its streets, some walking, some floating, some gliding on currents of light. He noticed that the beings communicated in ways he could not immediately understand, using patterns of color and sound instead of speech. "Communication is not always words. Human," the Queen said, reading his thoughts. "Understanding can come through many forms. Observe and you will learn the languages of the cosmos." Leo nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. He had spent his life studying science, exploring patterns and understanding nature. Yet nothing in his studies had prepared him for this. Here, in the infinite expanse, the rules were different and the possibilities were endless. As they moved closer to the city, the Queen paused. "Before you interact with these beings, you must learn restraint. Do not act out of impulse. Curiosity is your guide, but wisdom is your shield. A single careless action can disrupt worlds beyond your comprehension." Leo's heart pounded. I understand. I will be careful." The Queen extended her hand toward the city. "Then observe. Let the knowledge come to you. Do not rush. Let the universe reveal itself slowly, and you will see patterns, connections, and truths hidden from those who look too quickly." Leo watched the city with rapt attention. He noticed how energy flowed along the streets like a river of light, connecting buildings and beings in a network he could almost sense but not fully understand. The beings themselves seemed aware of the flow, moving gracefully to maintain balance. It was unlike anything he had ever imagined, a living, breathing system of intelligence and cooperation. Hours, or perhaps only minutes, Leo could not tell, passed as he studied the city. He began to notice details that had escaped him at first. The symbols etched into the streets, the colors of the buildings, the patterns of movement. All of it seemed to follow a rhythm, a logic that was both beautiful and precise. "You see more than you realize," the Queen said, her voice calm but resonant. "The mind of a human can grasp the cosmos if it is willing to observe, to question, to learn. But beware pride. Knowledge is not a possession. It is a responsibility." Leo felt the weight of her words. He had always thought of discovery as exciting, thrilling, and personal. But now he understood that true knowledge carried responsibility. Every action, every thought could ripple outward, affecting beings and worlds far beyond his own. The Queen guided him further, toward a massive structure at the center of the city. It was shaped like a spiral of light. Rising high into the sky and at its apex, a glowing orb hovered, pulsating with a rhythm that matched the device Leo had brought. "This is the core of knowledge," the Queen explained. "It contains the memories, experiences, and insights of countless civilizations. Few humans have ever been permitted to approach it. You must prove your readiness to receive its guidance." Leo's eyes widened. "How do I prove myself?" The Queen smiled faintly. "Through understanding. Observe and then explain what you see. Show that you comprehend more than appearances. Only then can the core share its wisdom with you." Leo focused on the spiral structure. He saw the flow of energy rising through it, connecting to the orb at the top. He noticed the subtle changes in light and color, the way the energy responded to the presence of the beings around it. Slowly he began to understand. This was a system of knowledge and consciousness, alive and interactive. I think the core is not just storing information," he said carefully. "It is learning, responding, and adapting. It is alive in a way we cannot fully describe. It connects everything in the city and perhaps even the minds of the beings themselves." The Queen's eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment, Leo felt as if she were smiling. "You see deeper than many. That is why you are here, but comprehension alone is not enough. You must act with insight, with patience, and with care." As Leo continued to study the core, he felt a subtle vibration beneath his feet. The city itself seemed to hum in acknowledgement of his awareness. Patterns of light shifted, responding to his gaze. He realized that observation was a form of communication, that awareness itself could influence reality in this place. You begin to understand, the Queen said. Knowledge is not given freely. It is earned through perception, reflection, and understanding. The universe teaches those who listen and watch with care. Leo nodded, feeling a mixture of awe and humility. The sheer scale of what he was witnessing made him feel small, yet connected to everything at once. He realized that his life on Earth, with its laboratories and theories, had prepared him only partially. Here he was learning in ways that went beyond books, beyond experiments, learning from existence itself. Hours passed, or maybe days. Time was strange in this place, stretching and folding in ways he could not measure. The Queen led him through corridors of light, to observatories filled with swirling galaxies, and chambers where the thoughts of countless beings were visible as streams of energy. Leo absorbed it all, struggling to keep up, yet hungry for every detail. Finally, the Queen brought him to a quiet chamber, high above the city. Rest, she said. Even the mind must recover to absorb what it sees. Tomorrow your lessons continue. You will meet beings whose understanding surpasses yours, and you must learn to communicate with them. Only then can the true journey begin. Leo sank to the floor, exhausted but exhilarated. He had seen wonders beyond his imagination, learned truths that seemed impossible, and glimpsed the vast complexity of the universe. Yet he knew that this was only the beginning. As he closed his eyes, he felt the Queen's presence still near, calm and steady. Her whisper echoed in his mind, soft but unforgettable. Are you alone, human? Leo smiled faintly. No, he was not alone. He had crossed into a world of infinite possibilities, guided by a being beyond comprehension, and he understood now that curiosity, courage, and careful observation were his keys to surviving and thriving in this vast and mysterious universe. The stars outside the chamber shimmered with quiet energy, as if acknowledging his presence. And Leo, for the first time, felt truly connected to something far greater than himself. The journey was just beginning. Leo woke to a soft glow filling the chamber. The light seemed alive, shifting and flowing across the walls like liquid stars. The air was warm, filled with a faint hum that resonated deep inside him. His mind felt clearer than ever, yet he was aware that he had only just begun to understand the universe around him. The alien Queen stood nearby, her eyes fixed on him with quiet patience. Good, she said, her voice calm but full of authority. You rested well. Today you will begin the first true test of your understanding. Observation is not enough. You must act with insight. Leo stood, still adjusting to the feeling of energy that seemed to flow through his body. What kind of test? He asked, his voice steady but tinged with curiosity. The Queen gestured to a platform below them. As Leo looked down, he saw a vast expanse of strange landscapes, floating islands suspended in the void, each connected by narrow bridges of light. Some islands glowed softly, others pulsed with bright energy. On one island, creatures with shimmering wings and translucent bodies moved gracefully, interacting in ways that seemed both intelligent and delicate. You will travel to one of these islands, the Queen explained. There is a problem there. The beings have lost the balance of energy that sustains their home. You must help restore it. But know this. The solution will not be obvious, and failure has consequences. Leo's heart raced. He had studied problems and solved puzzles, but this was different. These were living beings. Entire systems dependent on energy flows he could barely perceive. Yet he felt a spark of determination. I'll do my best, he said firmly. The Queen extended her hand, and a bridge of light appeared beneath Leo's feet, guiding him down to the island closest to them. As he stepped onto it, he felt the energy of the island wrap around him like a soft wind. The creatures nearby paused and observed him curiously, their eyes reflecting the light of the glowing plants that surrounded them. Leo took a deep breath and looked around. The energy flow was visible as streams of light, connecting the creatures, plants, and structures. Some streams were bright and steady, others flickered and wavered. The imbalance was subtle but noticeable, and he realized that even a small disruption could ripple across the entire island. He knelt and extended his hands toward the energy streams. He felt warmth, tingling, and a faint resistance. The Queen's words echoed in his mind. Observe, think, and act with insight. Leo focused. He had studied complex systems before, but never like this. He tried to understand how the energy flowed, what caused the flickering streams, and how the creatures interacted with it. Slowly, patterns began to emerge. One of the glowing plants seemed to be absorbing too much energy, leaving other streams weak. The creatures adjusted their positions in response, but they could not fully correct the imbalance. He spoke softly to himself. If I redirect some energy here and adjust the plant's intake, maybe the flow will stabilize. As he concentrated, the streams of light shifted under his hands, responding to his thoughts. He guided the excess energy back into the weaker streams, careful to maintain balance. The creatures observed him with bright, curious eyes, sensing the change. Gradually, the flickering lessened and the streams became steady. Leo felt a rush of relief. The island seemed to breathe, its energy flowing smoothly once more. The creatures chirped and glowed in response, moving with renewed grace. He realized that he had not just fixed the imbalance. He had become a part of the system, connected to it in a way that was difficult to describe. The Queen's voice echoed from above, calm and approving. Well done, human. You did not merely observe, you understood, adapted, and acted. This is the first step toward true comprehension. Leo smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. It worked. I didn't know I could do that. Potential exists in all, the Queen said, but potential alone is meaningless without action and understanding. You have taken the first step into the larger truth of existence. As Leo rested for a moment, he noticed a soft shimmer on the edge of the island. Curious, he approached and discovered a small pool of liquid light. The surface reflected the stars above, yet it seemed to ripple with a rhythm of its own. Hesitant but intrigued, he touched it. Instantly, visions filled his mind. Memories of other worlds, other beings, and other trials. He saw civilizations rise and fall, energy flows shifting across galaxies, and choices that shaped entire worlds. Leo stepped back, awed and slightly overwhelmed. This is incredible. How can one pool contain all of this? The Queen's voice answered without moving her lips. The universe stores knowledge in many forms. Some are tangible, some are subtle. The pool is one such form. It is a reminder that what you see is only part of the whole. Understanding comes from connecting these parts, from seeing patterns, from learning to interpret what is hidden. Leo nodded, absorbing her words. He felt a sense of responsibility growing within him. Knowledge was not just for discovery. It was for care, for balance, for maintaining harmony across countless systems. Your next lesson awaits, the Queen continued. Not all challenges are so straightforward. Some will test your patience, your courage, and your ability to perceive hidden truths. Are you prepared, human? Leo straightened, feeling determination replace his initial awe. I am ready. The platform beneath him shifted, lifting him into the air. He felt the pull of the universe around him as he ascended toward another floating island. This one was darker, its streams of energy tangled and chaotic. Strange creatures lurked in the shadows, observing silently. The imbalance here was more severe, and Leo felt a chill run through him. The Queen's voice was calm, yet carried an edge of warning. Not all beings welcome your help. Some will resist, some will fear, and some will test your intentions. Approach with care, human. Perception and patience are your tools here. Leo stepped cautiously onto the island. The energy flowed erratically beneath his feet, and he could sense the fear and confusion of the creatures. He observed their patterns, noticing how the light flickered in response to their movements. Slowly, he began to understand the source of the chaos, an unstable energy node at the center of the island, disrupting everything around it. He approached the node carefully. The creatures hissed and retreated, uncertain and wary. Leo raised his hands, focusing on calm and balance, and tried to redirect the energy gently. The node resisted, pulsing wildly, but he persisted. Slowly, he felt the streams begin to stabilize, responding to his intent rather than forcing them. The creatures relaxed, moving closer as the balance returned. Leo realized that patience and empathy were as important as knowledge and skill. Understanding the fears and needs of the beings around him allowed him to act effectively, creating harmony without force. The Queen's voice echoed softly. You see the truth, human. Influence comes not from power but from understanding and respect. This is a lesson many fail to learn. Leo exhaled deeply, feeling both exhausted and accomplished. He had faced a challenge unlike any he had encountered before, and he had succeeded through careful observation, insight, and empathy. The platform lifted once again, carrying him and the Queen back into the vast cosmos. Stars stretched endlessly in all directions, and Leo felt a sense of connection he had never known. He realized that he was no longer a simple observer of the universe. He was becoming a participant, capable of understanding and influencing the delicate balances that sustained entire worlds. Today, you learned more than many humans ever will, the Queen said, her voice calm and proud. But your journey is only beginning. Greater challenges await, and not all will be solved by knowledge alone. Courage, insight, and care will guide you further than any skill or tool. Leo nodded, feeling a mixture of humility and excitement. He understood that the universe was vast beyond imagination, filled with wonders and dangers, and that his role within it was only just beginning. As he looked out across the endless expanse of stars, he felt the Queen's presence near, steady and guiding. Her whisper lingered in his mind once more. "Are you alone, human?" Leo smiled faintly. No, he was not alone. He had the Queen's guidance, the lessons of the universe, and his own determination. And with each challenge, he would grow stronger, wiser, and more connected to the cosmos. The journey continued, and Leo was ready to face whatever came next. The cosmos stretched endlessly around Leo as he floated on the platform beside the alien Queen. The stars sparkled in strange colors he had never seen before, shifting and swirling as if alive. Yet today there was a tension in the air, subtle but unmistakable. Leo could feel it in the pull of energy beneath him, a disturbance far greater than anything he had experienced on the floating islands. "The balance is fragile here," the Queen said, her voice calm but serious. "Something has shifted. You will see why." Leo nodded, trying to steady his racing heart. He had grown accustomed to the wonders of the universe, yet the warning in her voice made him cautious. "What kind of shift?" he asked. The Queen did not answer immediately. Instead, the platform moved swiftly through the darkness, passing by nebulae that glowed like molten jewels and clusters of stars that seemed to hum with life. Leo felt the energy around him pulse in erratic rhythms, and he realized that this disturbance affected more than one world. It reached across the cosmos itself. Finally, the platform descended to a massive asteroid-like structure, larger than any planet Leo had seen. Its surface was covered in jagged rocks, glowing veins of energy and strange, hovering formations that defied gravity. The creatures here were different, large, armored, and cautious. They observed the platform from a distance, their eyes glowing faintly in warning. "This is the outpost of shadows," the Queen explained. "It is a place where energies of many systems converge. Recently, a disturbance has disrupted the balance, creating chaos among the beings who depend on this energy. Your task is to investigate and restore order, but know this: the disturbance is not natural. Something or someone has caused it." Leo's heart raced. He had faced challenges before, but this felt different. The outpost seemed alive with tension, the air thick with the weight of unrest. "How do I even begin?" he asked. "Observation," the Queen replied, "and patience. Watch carefully before you act. The truth is hidden in the patterns." Leo stepped cautiously onto the outpost, feeling the uneven energy beneath his feet. The creatures here were massive, yet their movements were precise, controlled by the flow of energy that connected everything. But the flow was fractured, pulsing erratically. He could see sparks of instability leaping from one node to another, causing minor disruptions across the area. He knelt and reached out, feeling the currents of energy as he had learned on the islands. But this time the currents resisted him. The disturbance was strong, chaotic, and deliberate. He realized that he would have to work carefully, not just to stabilize the energy, but to understand its source. Hours passed as Leo studied the patterns. The creatures watched silently, their glowing eyes tracking his every movement. Slowly, he discovered a central node of extreme instability, a sphere of dark energy that pulsed violently, feeding off the surrounding currents and spreading chaos. "This is it," he whispered. "If I can control this, I can restore the balance." The Queen's presence was steady beside him. "Yes, but beware, human. The force is not passive. It reacts to thought, emotion, and fear. Calm your mind or it will overwhelm you." Leo took a deep breath. He closed his eyes, focusing on the flow of energy, on the balance he had restored on the islands, and on the lessons the Queen had taught him. Slowly, he extended his hands toward the dark node. It pulsed violently, flaring outward, but he resisted panic. He imagined light flowing into the dark sphere, guiding it gently, not forcing it. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then slowly the sphere's edges began to soften. Sparks of darkness unraveled into streams of soft, glowing light, reconnecting with the energy currents around them. The creatures around him relaxed, their movements becoming smooth and harmonious. Leo felt the weight lift from the outpost, a sense of relief washing over him like a tide. The Queen spoke softly. "You did not simply impose control, human. You understood. You guided, you balanced, and you respected the energy and its inhabitants. That is true power." Leo exhaled deeply, exhausted but exhilarated. "It worked. I did it." "Indeed," the Queen said. "But the source of this disturbance remains. It is not natural. Something or someone has caused it intentionally. Soon you will meet the one responsible, and when you do, you must be ready." Leo's heart skipped a beat. He had faced challenges and chaos before, but now he realized that the universe contained beings and forces beyond anything he had imagined. The Queen's words were a warning, but also a call to courage. "Why me?" Leo asked quietly. "Why am I chosen for this?" The Queen's eyes glowed softly, reflecting the light of the outpost. "Because you have shown potential, human. Potential is rare. Few humans can perceive the flows of energy, balance chaos, and act with insight and restraint. You are here because the universe needs those who can connect with it fully. But potential is only a beginning. You must grow beyond it." Leo nodded, absorbing the weight of her words. He had always thought of himself as a scientist, an observer of the unknown. But now he realized that being chosen meant responsibility, courage, and wisdom beyond anything he had imagined. As he prepared to leave the outpost, a sudden ripple passed through the energy currents. The dark node had stabilized, but a shadow moved near the edge of his perception. Leo froze, feeling a chill run through him. The creatures around him stiffened, their glowing eyes narrowing in warning. The Queen's voice echoed in his mind, calm but firm. "The one who caused this disturbance is close. Do not act hastily. Observe, understand, and then respond. Strength without wisdom is danger." Leo's heart raced, but he obeyed. He watched the shadow move, realizing it was intelligent, deliberate. It was not a natural force, but a being capable of thought, strategy, and perhaps malice. He could sense its curiosity, its observation, and its testing of him. Slowly, the shadow emerged into view. A figure tall and dark, its form shifting like smoke yet defined, with eyes that glowed faintly red. It radiated energy that felt both familiar and alien, challenging Leo's presence without speaking. "You are the human who restores balance," the being said, its voice low and resonant. "The alien queen brought you here. But can you survive when the flow resists you?" Leo's heart pounded. He had faced challenges before, but this was different. This being was powerful, intelligent, and clearly aware of his every move. Yet he remembered the Queen's lessons: patience, observation, and understanding. "I will try," Leo said, steadying his voice. "I do not see conflict, only balance." The shadow tilted its head as if studying him. "Balance. A fragile notion. Let us see if you truly understand it." Energy surged between them, a test of will and perception. Leo focused on the lessons he had learned, on the energy flows, on patience and observation. He extended his hands toward the currents, feeling the pulse of the outpost and the life around him. Slowly, carefully, he guided the streams, stabilizing the chaotic energy once more. The shadow watched silently, then gradually receded, its form dispersing into the darkness. The creatures around Leo relaxed fully, their movements calm and graceful. The dark presence had tested him, and he had succeeded without force, without fear, relying solely on understanding and balance. The Queen's voice sounded beside him, calm and approving. "You have faced your first true adversary, human. Not with strength, but with insight. This is the way of the universe. Power without wisdom brings destruction. Wisdom with courage brings harmony." Leo exhaled, feeling both relief and accomplishment. He had faced a being capable of disrupting worlds, and he had survived, not by fighting, but by understanding. He realized now that the universe was far more complex than he had imagined, and that his role within it required more than skill. It required patience, empathy, and connection. The platform lifted, carrying him back into the vast cosmos. Stars shimmered endlessly, and Leo felt the weight of responsibility grow within him. He was no longer merely a human observing wonders. He was a participant, a guardian of balance, and a student of the universe itself. As he looked toward the alien queen, her eyes seemed to glow with quiet pride. "You are learning, human. But remember, the journey is far from over. Greater challenges await. and the universe will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Leo nodded, determination steady in his chest. He understood now that curiosity alone was not enough. Knowledge was not enough. True understanding required courage, wisdom, and the willingness to face the unknown without fear. And as the stars stretched endlessly around him, the Queen's whisper returned. Soft and unforgettable. Are you alone, human? Leo smiled faintly. No, he was not alone. He had guidance, knowledge, and courage, and with each challenge he would grow stronger, wiser, and more connected to the universe. The journey continued, and Leo was ready to face whatever mysteries and dangers awaited him next. Leo floated silently through the vast expanse of the cosmos. The platform beneath him glimmered softly, carrying him through endless stars and swirling nebulae. Each moment felt heavier than the last, yet also more meaningful. He had faced islands of energy, chaotic nodes, and even a shadowy adversary. And with each challenge he had grown stronger, wiser, and more aware of the universe's complexity. The alien queen hovered beside him, regal and calm as ever. Her eyes, deep and endless, reflected countless stars. You have learned much, human, she said. You understand balance, patience, observation, and insight. But knowledge alone is not the final test. The universe will now show you the truth behind your journey. Leo's heart pounded with anticipation. The truth? About what? He asked. The truth of existence, she replied. Of life beyond your world, of purpose, and of responsibility. You must see for yourself, human. Only then will you understand why you were chosen. The platform began to descend toward a massive structure unlike any Leo had seen before. It was enormous, stretching farther than the eye could follow, composed of shimmering crystal-like towers, rivers of light, and bridges that twisted through the air like ribbons. The energy surrounding it was both gentle and powerful, steady and alive. Leo felt a sense of awe unlike anything before. This is the nexus of knowledge, the Queen explained. It holds the wisdom of countless civilizations, the history of worlds, and the paths of countless beings. Many seek it, few can enter, and fewer still can leave with understanding intact. Leo's eyes widened. And you brought me here? The Queen nodded. Yes. You have proven yourself capable of perceiving and guiding energy, understanding beings, and acting with wisdom. Now you must confront the ultimate lesson, comprehension of the universe itself. Are you ready? Leo hesitated for only a moment before nodding. I am ready. As they entered the nexus, a wave of energy washed over him. Memories, knowledge, and visions flooded his mind. Not as random flashes, but as coherent threads connecting everything he had learned and experienced. He saw civilizations rise and fall, the flow of energy through galaxies, the delicate balance between light and shadow, creation and destruction. It was overwhelming, yet strangely peaceful. Leo realized that the universe was not chaos. It was a living system, intricate and beautiful, guided by laws and patterns beyond human imagination. He felt a sense of connection to everything, the planets, the stars, the beings, the energy itself. He understood now that knowledge was not just for discovery, but for harmony, for maintaining the balance that allowed life to exist. The Queen's voice echoed gently in his mind. You see, human, everything is connected. Nothing exists in isolation. Every choice, every action, every thought resonates across the cosmos. Understanding this is the final step. Leo nodded, feeling awe and responsibility swirl together in his chest. I understand. It's incredible. And terrifying. Indeed, the Queen replied. But fear is natural. Courage does not mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite it. You have shown courage, human, in every trial. Now you must choose how to carry this understanding forward. Leo's mind raced. He thought of the islands, the outpost of shadows, the beings he had helped, and even the shadow that had tested him. All of it led here, to comprehension, to the nexus, to the realization that he was part of something infinitely larger than himself. What choice do I have? He asked softly. The choice to return to your world, the Queen said. To remain in your old life, carrying what you have learned quietly within you, or to travel with me further, learning more, exploring, and guiding balance across the universe. Both paths carry responsibility. Both require courage. Leo closed his eyes, weighing his options. Returning to Earth meant safety, familiarity, and perhaps sharing his discoveries with those who would never truly understand. But traveling further, with the Queen, meant adventure, knowledge, and the chance to protect and maintain harmony across countless worlds. It was daunting, yet he felt a pull toward the unknown, a curiosity stronger than any fear. I want to continue, he said finally. I want to learn more, to see more, and to help wherever I can. The Queen's eyes glowed brighter, and for a moment Leo felt as if the stars themselves were acknowledging his choice. Then it is decided, human. Your journey will continue, and the universe will teach you truths few could imagine. But remember, curiosity alone is not enough. Wisdom, patience, and empathy must guide you at every step. The platform began to move again, lifting them higher into the nexus. Leo felt energy flowing through him, sharper, stronger, yet gentle. Visions of new worlds flashed before him, planets with floating oceans, forests that glowed with internal light, cities built on clouds, and creatures capable of incredible thought and emotion. Each vision was a lesson, a puzzle, a story waiting to be understood. You will see things that challenge your understanding, the Queen said. Some beings will test you, some situations will seem impossible, and some truths may frighten you. Yet everything has a purpose, and everything is connected. You must trust yourself, human, and the flow of the universe. Leo felt a mix of fear and excitement. He realized that every step forward would demand more than observation. It would demand action, guided by wisdom. He felt ready, more than ever before, to face whatever awaited. Suddenly a vision appeared in the air before him. A planet engulfed in chaotic energy. Beings fled from unstable flows, and structures collapsed under pressure. Leo recognized the pattern immediately. It was similar to the outpost of shadows, but far larger, far more dangerous. The first challenge of your extended journey, the Queen said. A civilization at risk, unbalanced by forces they do not yet understand. You will guide them, human, but you must do so carefully. Your choices will ripple across time and space. Leo nodded, determination firm in his chest. I understand. I will do my best. The platform carried him toward the chaotic planet, and he felt energy envelop him like a cloak. The Queen's presence remained close, steadying, guiding, and observing. Leo understood now that her role was not to control him, but to help him see, understand, and act wisely. As they arrived above the planet, Leo saw the streams of energy tangled and flickering, creatures fleeing, and structures collapsing. He focused, recalling every lesson he had learned. Observation, patience, insight, empathy, and courage. He extended his hands toward the energy, guiding it gently, calming the chaos and reconnecting the flows. Slowly, order returned, and the planet seemed to breathe again. The creatures looked up, their eyes bright with relief and gratitude. Leo realized he had done more than restore balance. He had become part of the harmony, connected to the life and energy of an entire world. The Queen spoke softly beside him. You have taken the first true step in your role, human. You are no longer merely an observer. You are a guardian of balance, a participant in the universe itself. Your journey is far from over, but you have proven yourself capable. Leo felt a profound sense of fulfillment. He had faced fear, chaos, and the unknown, and he had acted with wisdom and care. He understood now that life in the universe was not simply about survival or discovery. It was about understanding, responsibility, and harmony. As the stars stretched endlessly around him, the Queen's whisper returned, soft and eternal. Are you alone, human? Leo smiled faintly, the weight of the journey behind and ahead of him clear. No, he said softly. I am not alone, and I never will be as long as I continue to learn, to understand, and to act wisely. The platform lifted once more, carrying Leo and the Queen into the infinite cosmos. Endless worlds awaited, challenges, mysteries, and lessons beyond imagination. And Leo felt ready, steady, and eager to face whatever came next. For the first time, he understood fully what it meant to be human in a universe vast beyond measure. Curious, courageous, capable, and connected to everything around him. And he knew that his journey, guided by the alien queen, would continue to shape him. The worlds he touched and the infinite expanse of the universe itself. The stars shimmered around him like a promise. Leo was ready to embrace the extraordinary, to explore, to learn, and to protect the delicate balance of life and energy in ways he had never imagined. The universe waited, and Leo stepped forward.